welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. Now, despite stiff competition in the hatchback market, Maruti Suzuki has continued to grow in double digits. But with competition gaining ground, the company has decided to put out a new version of the Alto K-10. It's priced higher than its earlier avatar, and so Maruti hopes this will help improve margins and sales. Sandeep Shrikant takes it out for a first spin.
It's a rite of passage. When you buy your first car, it needs to be a sturdy, no-nonsense number that you can learn driving on and, crucially, make all your mistakes on. And then a few years later, when you're a bit more confident, you look to buy something a little more aspirational. Manufacturers obliged by giving you bare-bones cars like the Maruti 800, the Santro Standard, and India's current bestseller, the Alto. But now with the economy booming and a lot more disposable income out there, even first-time buyers are looking for that little bit more. More value, more features, and more performance. And that's why Maruti's just brought out an Alto with a little bit more. Meet the Alto K-10. Maruti once offered the Alto with a 1.1-litre engine in addition to the standard 796cc mill. It was discontinued soon after, and the standard Alto went on to become the best-selling car in India by a good margin. And now, Maruti is trying to make it a little more fun by shoehorning the 3-cylinder K-series motor from the A-Star and the new WagonR into its old reliable. To fit the bigger engine, the Alto K-10's front has been lengthened by about 125mm and accentuated with new angular headlights and a bigger, bolder grille. Add body-colored bumpers and the result is a more purposeful stance which fits the new, meaner image. Though the wheelbase remains the same, the rear has also been restyled with new A-Star inspired curved tail lamps. The Alto K-10 also gets upsized 13-inch wheels running tubeless radial tires, larger brakes, beefed up shocks, and electrically assisted steering as standard. Before we go any further, I just need to make one clarification. The new Alto K-10, like the Alto, is targeted at the average Indian car buyer. Now, unfortunately, I'm not exactly average when it comes to size. So I'm going to call our video journalist Satish over and he's going to show us just how much space there is inside this car. Since the wheelbase hasn't increased at all, it's status quo on the legroom and comfort front. But the interiors have been spruced up with new upholstery, color-coordinated door pads and integrated headrests in the seats. There's a new 3-spoke steering wheel that feels good to grip and a refreshed instrument cluster. But the quality of plastics remains a bit poor. The rear seats lack under-thigh support, but the boot is decently large for a car of this size. Once I levered myself into the driver's seat, I was actually feeling pretty comfortable and looking forward to the drive. Having tested the WagonR a few months ago, I was quite familiar with the engine humming away under the hood. Maruti's 3-cylinder 998cc unit producing 68 PS of power at 6,200 RPM and generating 90 Nm of torque at 3,500 RPM. The engine was familiar, but the driving experience was certainly not. This car felt nothing like the WagonR and definitely not like any Alto I've ever driven. So how does a car that's always been seen as a rather tepid commuter suddenly become fun to drive? Well, a lot of it is down to the extra power available in what is still a very light car. This new K-10 is only about 50 kilos heavier than the standard Alto, and that means a much better power-to-weight ratio. In fact, Maruti claims a 0 to 100 time of 13.3 seconds, which is frankly very, very quick. And they claim an ARAI certified mileage of just over 20 kilometers per litre. So they've got both bases covered. Performance for the enthusiast and mileage for the value-conscious buyer. Maruti's alternative is also extremely drivable in the city, thanks to a powerful engine and well-matched gear ratios. Talking of gears, the K-10 also gets a new cable-actuated gearbox that vastly improves shift quality. Visibility is terrific and the ride is also quite comfortable, especially at lower speeds where most surface undulations are dispatched without fuss. And best of all, despite quite a bit of body roll, this car is a lot of fun around corners. The last time I had so much fun with such a small package, I was driving a go-kart, and this new K-10 Alto is actually pretty similar. It wraps itself around you, the steering is very, very direct, and it really is a blast to drive. It really is so much fun. It's a good performer, frugal and fun. And I almost forgot, the aircon is pretty effective too. So has Maruti succeeded in delivering more value? Well, with prices starting at 3.18 lakhs ex-showroom Mumbai for the base LXI variant and topping out at 3.32 lakhs for the fully loaded VXI I'm driving, I have to say yes. But it's a good thing it's called the Alto K-10 because this car is all about that K-series engine. The few styling tweaks and the extra features are just in there to sweeten the deal. So is it a good deal? Well, you're going to tell us that, aren't you?
Well, that wraps up Overdrive for this week, but do remember to keep up with the Overdrive team on Twitter. Next weekend, we celebrate Independence Day, so here's a quick programming note for all of our viewers. We have a very special show lined up for you. A show of force, if you like. Don't miss it.